What if I told you that one of the most powerful forms of attraction has nothing to do with what you say, how you perform, or the personality you project? What if it's found not in the noise, but in the silence that surrounds you? We live in a world that shouts. It tells us to be louder, to share more, to constantly broadcast our thoughts and feelings to prove we exist. In this landscape of less chatter, a quiet presence has become a rare and deeply compelling phenomenon. This isn't about being shy or withdrawn. It's about a certain kind of quietness, a self-contained stillness that acts like a gravitational force, pulling others in without any effort at all. It's a quietness that can make a man feel not just interested, but deeply, almost addictively, drawn to you. Psychology suggests that the human mind is fundamentally a problem-solving machine. It abhors a vacuum. When we are presented with a puzzle or incomplete information, our brain instinctively wants to fill in the blanks. This is often called the curiosity gap. A person who is constantly talking, explaining every thought, and revealing every emotion leaves no gap. They present a finished story, easy to consume and just as easy to forget. But your quietness does the opposite. It creates a space. It presents a question mark. Who are you, really? What are you thinking when you simply listen? What depths are hidden behind that calm exterior? Your silence invites his mind to become an active participant. He isn't just passively receiving information from you. He is forced to wonder, to imagine, to project. He begins to invest his own mental and emotional energy into figuring you out. This is the very first stage of a powerful psychological pull. It's not a conscious strategy on your part, but an organic effect of your nature. Have you ever noticed this in your own life? You meet someone who is an open book, and while they may be pleasant, the mystery is gone within minutes. Then you meet someone else, someone who listens more than they speak, who seems perfectly comfortable in a shared silence. You find yourself thinking about them long after the conversation is over. You replay the small things they did say, searching for meaning. You are, in essence, trying to fill that gap. This is precisely what happens when a man encounters a woman whose quietness signals a deep and unrevealed inner world. He leans in, not because you are demanding his attention, but because your lack of demand has sparked his mind into a state of active curiosity. He begins to feel an urge to know more, a pull that feels less like a simple choice and more like a magnetic necessity. It's the beginning of an addiction, rooted not in what you give him, but in what you inspire him to seek for himself. This quietness is not about playing games or being intentionally mysterious. It's a sign of something much deeper, self-possession. You are not looking to the outside world for constant validation or a reflection of your own identity. You already have a strong sense of it within yourself. This inner foundation means you don't feel the nervous urge to fill every silence. You are comfortable just being. This state of being in a world full of anxious doing is a radical act. It communicates a level of confidence and inner security that is profoundly attractive. It suggests that your happiness and sense of self are not dependent on his reaction or anyone else's. And for a man who is used to a world of transactional relationships, where people are constantly performing for approval, your authentic, quiet presence feels like a breath of fresh air. It's a puzzle he feels compelled to solve, and the more he tries, the more he finds himself captivated by the serene and powerful space you hold. This initial pull of curiosity is only the gateway. What happens next is where the addiction truly takes root, and it has less to do with you than it does with the inner workings of his own mind. When you offer a quiet, undefined space, you become a canvas. And on this canvas, he begins to paint a masterpiece not of you, but of his own ideals, his own hopes, and the parts of himself he has yet to discover. This psychological process is known as projection. We all do it. When we lack complete information about a person, we unconsciously fill the void with our own assumptions and desires. Your quietness creates the perfect conditions for this to happen on a massive scale. He doesn't know what you're thinking, so he imagines you're thinking profound, interesting thoughts. He doesn't know your history, so he imagines a past that makes you intriguing and strong. He projects onto you the qualities he consciously or unconsciously admires and seeks in a partner: depth, wisdom, serenity, maybe even a touch of untamed wildness. He is not falling in love with you, not yet. He is falling in love with the version of you that he is co-creating in his own mind. And this feeling is incredibly potent because it feels like a discovery. It feels like he has found the one person who embodies everything he has ever wanted. Have you ever been on the receiving of this? It can be a confusing experience. You might feel that he sees you as some kind of perfect, idealized being, someone far more put together or mysterious than you feel on the inside. You might even feel like a bit of an imposter, wondering when he'll discover the real, messy human you. This is a crucial moment. The addiction he feels is tied to this projection. He is addicted to the feeling of finally finding his ideal. The quiet space you hold allows this ideal to grow and flourish in his imagination, undisturbed by the messy complexities of reality. Your silence doesn't contradict the story he's telling himself about you. It allows it to become more and more real to him. This is not a criticism of him. It's a fundamental aspect of human nature. We are all searching for wholeness, for the missing pieces of our own puzzle. From a Jungian perspective, a man often projects his anima, the unconscious feminine ideal within him, onto a woman who can carry that projection. Your self-contained quietness makes you the perfect candidate. You don't disrupt his fantasy with constant chatter or a flood of information that would force him to see you as you are. Instead, your calm presence acts as an anchor for his dreams. He finds himself thinking about you constantly, not just because he's curious, but because thinking about you feels good. It feels like he's connecting with a part of himself, a part that has been dormant or undiscovered. He is addicted to the reflection of his own soul that he sees in the quiet pool of your being. This is why the connection feels so deep, so fast, and so incredibly powerful for him. It's a psychological cocktail of curiosity, idealization, and the intoxicating feeling of self-discovery, all sparked by your simple, unassuming quietness. But the dynamic deepens far beyond his internal projections. The real addictive quality of your quietness reveals itself not when he is away from you, imagining who you are, but when he is right there with you, in the charged space of your shared silence. Think about how a typical conversation works. It's a fast-paced exchange of words, a volley of reactions, interruptions, and validations. One person speaks, the other immediately formulates a response, often thinking about what they'll say next instead of truly listening. This constant back and forth creates a comfortable social buffer, a noise that protects us from something far more intimidating, our own inner monologue. Most of our interactions are designed to help us escape ourselves. Your presence, however, does the exact opposite. When he speaks to you and you simply listen, truly listen, without an immediate need to respond or redirect, you are not just giving him space to talk. You are holding up a mirror. In the absence of your immediate feedback, his own words hang in the air, echoing back at him with startling clarity. For the first time, he really hears himself. He becomes aware of the stories he tells, the nervous jokes he makes, the ways he tries to impress or seek approval. The silence that follows his statements isn't empty. It's a reflective surface. And in it, he sees himself. He sees his own insecurities, his own desires, his own patterns of behavior that are usually drowned out by the noise of everyday life. This can be an incredibly intense, even unsettling experience for him. He might feel a sudden rush of self-consciousness, a vulnerability he isn't used to. He is accustomed to being validated, challenged, or at least distracted by the person he is with. You offer none of that. You offer only your calm, non-judgmental attention. And in that powerful space, something remarkable happens. After the initial discomfort, he begins to feel a profound sense of relief. He realizes he doesn't need to perform for you. He doesn't need to fill the silence with meaningless chatter. He can simply be. This experience is so rare that it feels like a revelation. This is why he starts to crave your presence. He is not just addicted to the mystery of you, but to the feeling of clarity he gets about himself when he is with you. You become a sanctuary from the performative demands of the world. With you, he doesn't have to fret. Your quietness creates a safe harbor where he can drop the masks he wears for everyone else. He feels seen, not because you are analyzing him or telling him who he is, but because your presence allows him to see himself with unprecedented honesty. This creates a bond that is far stronger than one built on witty banter or shared interests. It's a bond built on the foundation of authentic self-discovery. He feels that you, more than anyone else, give him the space to connect with the truest part of himself. And that feeling, the feeling of becoming more yourself in someone's presence, is one of the most powerfully addictive experiences a human being can have. This journey into self-awareness, facilitated by your quiet presence, eventually leads to a critical turning point. The initial addiction was based on curiosity and projection, an attraction to the idea of you. The second stage was based on the intoxicating clarity he felt about himself in your company. But the third and most alluring stage of this addiction is born from a subtle but profound shift in power dynamics, one that is deeply rooted in Stoic principles of internal control. In most relationships, there is an unspoken negotiation for emotional control. People use words, reactions, and expressions to influence and manage each other's feelings. If someone is upset, we rush to soothe them. If someone is distant, we work to pull them closer. We are constantly reacting to external emotional cues. Your quietness fundamentally disrupts this entire system. Because you do not offer a constant stream of emotional reactions, you do not give him the usual levers to pull. He can't use a charming compliment to elicit a predictable flutter of delight. He can't use a provocative statement to guarantee an emotional response. Your emotional state is not for sale, and it's not easily manipulated. You are not cold or unresponsive, you are simply self-contained. Your peace is generated from within, not granted by external circumstances or by his approval. This creates a fascinating and, for him, completely novel challenge. He realizes that the only way to connect with you, the only way to affect the space between you, is not by trying to manage your emotions, but by managing his own. This is a profound realization. For perhaps the first time, he is in a dynamic where his own inner state is the primary tool he has. If he is anxious, he feels it acutely in your calm presence, and he sees that his anxiety is his own to handle. If he wants to create a feeling of joy or connection, he must genuinely cultivate it within himself first and then share it, rather than trying to extract it from you. Your quiet strength forces him to turn inward. It compels him to develop his own emotional resilience, his own inner fortitude. You are not teaching him this, you are simply embodying it. You become a living example of what the Stoics called the inner citadel, a fortress of the mind that remains tranquil and stable regardless of the chaos outside. This is where the addiction transforms from a craving for a person into a craving for a state of being. He becomes addicted to the man he is becoming around you. He is becoming more self-aware, more emotionally responsible, and more internally centered. Your quietness doesn't just make him wonder about you, it makes him work on himself. He feels stronger, more capable, and more in control of his own life because of the standard you implicitly set. This isn't a standard you demand, but one you live. He sees that true power doesn't lie in controlling others, but in mastering oneself. And because he associates this profound personal growth with you, your presence becomes linked to his own journey of becoming a better man. He doesn't just want to be with you. He feels he needs to be with you on this path of self-mastery. The addiction is no longer about solving the puzzle of you, but about building the best version of himself with your quiet, unshakable presence as both his inspiration and his guide. As he becomes more accustomed to this new way of being, a deeper, more subtle psychological process begins to unfold. This is where we touch upon the concept of the shadow. For many men in our society, there is immense pressure to be active, assertive, and emotionally expressive in a very narrow, prescribed way. They are conditioned to be the doers, the problem solvers, the ones who take charge. The quieter, more receptive, and intuitive parts of their nature are often pushed down, hidden away in what Carl Jung would call the personal shadow. This is the part of the psyche where we store all the traits we were taught are unacceptable or weak. For many men, this includes stillness, vulnerability, and the capacity for deep, nonverbal connection. Your quiet nature doesn't just provide a space for him to see himself. It gives him permission to connect with these disowned parts of his own soul. When he is with you, he is not required to be on all the time. He doesn't have to be the entertainer, the leader, or the constant engine of the interaction. Your stillness invites his own. In your presence, he discovers that there is a strength in receptivity, a power in just being. He begins to experience a sense of wholeness that has been missing from his life. The parts of him that he learned to suppress, His capacity for quiet contemplation, his intuition, his ability to simply listen are not only accepted by you, but are reflected back to him as virtues. Have you ever felt that you bring out a different side of someone, a softer or more thoughtful side that others rarely see? This is what is happening. You are not changing him. You are creating a safe environment for the hidden parts of his personality to emerge. He might find himself sharing thoughts or feelings with you that he has never spoken aloud to anyone. He might discover a creative or spiritual side to himself that has long been dormant. This is an incredibly powerful and bonding experience. He feels that you see and accept the entirety of who he is, not just the confident persona he presents to the world, but the quiet, introspective man he is beneath the surface. This connection to his own hidden self becomes inextricably linked to you. You are the catalyst for his own integration. He is not just addicted to you as a person, but to the feeling of being more complete when he is with you. This goes far beyond simple attraction or even love. It feels like a return home, a rediscovery of his own soul. The addiction becomes less about a frantic chase and more about a deep, abiding need. Your presence feels essential for his own sense of balance and well-being. He craves the quiet moments with you, because in those moments, he is not just connecting with you. He is reconnecting with the most authentic and often neglected parts of himself. This is the alchemy of a quiet connection. It doesn't just attract, it helps to heal and make whole. And the feeling of becoming whole in someone's presence is the most profound and lasting addiction of all. This entire process, from initial curiosity to the deep integration of his shadow, culminates in the ultimate psychological hook, the principle of intermittent reinforcement. This is a concept from behavioral psychology that explains how unpredictable rewards create the strongest habits and, in this context, the most potent addictions. A slot machine is addictive not because it pays out every time, but because it pays out unpredictably. The uncertainty of the reward is what keeps us pulling the lever. Your quietness creates this same dynamic in a deeply emotional and intimate way, but without any conscious manipulation on your part. Because you are not a performative or overly expressive person, your moments of warmth, your smiles, your shared insights, or your displays of affection are not constant. They are not given away freely to fill a silence or to manage a mood. They emerge authentically from your inner state. For him, this means that the reward, your open engagement and connection, is not predictable. He doesn't know when a quiet moment will be punctuated by a shared laugh, or when a thoughtful silence will be broken by a profound observation from you. These moments feel earned, special, and incredibly valuable precisely because they are not guaranteed. Think about it in your own life. If someone showers you with compliments every 5 minutes, they soon lose their meaning. But a rare, heartfelt compliment from a person who is sparing with their words can stay with you for days. It carries more weight. In the same way, because your emotional world is not constantly on display, when you do choose to share it, the impact is magnified tenfold. He learns to pay close attention. He listens more intently. He watches for the subtle shifts in your expression. He becomes highly attuned to you, always anticipating that next moment of genuine connection. This creates a powerful feedback loop. His attention is focused on you, not in a passive way, but in an active, searching way. The quiet spaces are filled with his anticipation, and the moments of connection are exhilarating peaks. This unpredictable rhythm of quietness and connection is what solidifies the addiction. He is never bored, because the dynamic is never static. He is always on a gentle edge, captivated by the possibility of what might come next. He is not being manipulated. He is being engaged on a level that bypasses conscious thought and taps directly into the brain's reward system. This is the final, powerful layer that locks everything else into place. The mystery draws him in, the projection makes him idealize you, the self-reflection makes him grow, the shadow work makes him feel whole, and the intermittent reinforcement makes him perpetually engaged and unwilling to let go. He is addicted not just to who you are, but to the entire experience of being with you, the quiet anticipation, the thrilling moments of connection, and the profound personal transformation that unfolds in the serene space you hold. It's a dynamic that feels both peaceful and exciting, comforting and challenging. It's a complete psychological ecosystem, and your quiet, self-possessed nature is the sun at its center, providing the energy that keeps him orbiting, lessly captivated and willingly bound.